replays for you guys as well.
Yeah, we've noticed, or I've definitely noticed, a sort of common complaint and/or suggestion is that some people would prefer to watch replays in like fast mo rather than watch like a 1 hour video of a duel. So we're gonna try having video forms of some of the replays, along with some of the more traditional videos with commentary and stuff. Just kind of like a test run, see how that goes.
So what I am excited to get into, something we do have the coverage for already, is the top 8 deck list for the Freeroll Qualifier.
Yes, we do. Lots going on in the top 8 deck lists.
I would say, would you say this is the top 8 you would have predicted as far as how the deck's placed out?
1 sec. All right, now I got it up on the stream. In a broad sense, in terms of splits of like aggro, control, and combo, like the sort of broad blanket archetypes. Yes, definitely not with the specifics. Where do we start? So for one, Thunder Dragon Chaos with Scapegoat and Metamorphosis seems to be making a comeback.
I think it's kind of starting to take over the goat control spot.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. We've got Lucas in winners with that deck. Let's see.
It was about probably like 8 months ago now that we posted the GoatFormat.com tier list. And I think at that point we had like most played as Goat Control. And I think that's starting to shift to Thunder Dragon Chaos.
Yes, definitely. The Scapegoat and Metamorphosis version has 2 spots in top 8, one in winners and one in losers. The winners Lucas and losers Nash Bridges. Then we've got a third sort of more traditional turbo list. Also on losers, it's Leo Void. And to round out the Chaos decks, Rabid also squeaked into top 8 on loser side with Angel Chaos.
And then even on Leo Void's side, he has 3 Metamorphosis in his side deck.
Yes, Scapegoat, yes. So. Leo Void is siding into Scapegoat and Meta, 3 copies of each.
And what do we end up with? One? Do we have one pure Goat Control deck even? Yeah.
Yes, I can scroll to that right now. We've got Loop, and I think Loop is still in it. We'll get to where the bracket progression in a bit, but yes, Loop had a lot of interesting choices. Double Zero Priest, double Gravekeeper Spy, 1 main deck Trap Dust Shoot. Just a few of them.
Like Loop's build, I think he was the most prepared for the Aggro matchup.
Yes, definitely.
And the 3 Scapegoat.
Yeah, and then in his side, he's got even more 2 Skilled Darks, 1 Spirit Reaper, 1 Creature Swap, 1 Sakuretsu Armor, 1 Dusk Tornado, 1 7 Tools of the Bandit.
And triple Solemns.
Yes. So his side is actually pretty well rounded against both aggro and combo, which are kind of like the 2 boogeymen of the qualifiers.
Yeah, so we only have one. You only see the one from Deanna, the one combo, the Royal Magical Library for the top 8. But we had a ton of entrants of people with this deck in the tournament overall between that and Jar.
Yes, and some other less traditional stuff too, like various Burn decks. Burn was pretty popular in the qualifiers, but didn't actually make it into top 8. So yeah, I've got the Diana's deck on my screen now. Pretty close to the standard list we've had posted on the website for a while. She is playing a copy of Different Dimension Capsule, kind of interesting, and her side is really, really efficient.
Her side deck is so fine-tuned for answering people's answer for her.
Yeah, definitely. 3 Swords of Concealing Light for like the fusions that Cybershines get out. 1 Mass Driver for Ojama Trio tokens. The deck can't kill with Reversal Quiz unless it gets rid of those. and then obviously the 3 self-destruct buttons and 3 wall of revealing lights to just keep.
Which also work with the Cyberstein because of Upstart Goblin.
Yes, precisely. So yeah, lots going on in that list. And then that leaves just aggro to talk about, I think.
Yeah, so the aggro decks. Let's see here. We have Professor Hastig with Triple Blade Knight, which Triple Blade Knight, Triple Jar Greed, and then Anti over here also with only 1 Blade Knight, but also running the Triple Jar Greed.
Yeah, so a lot of people have picked up on Geisty's Jar Greed thing from FLC 9. What they've done is kind of cut out the flip effects and the sort of mid-range aspects that Geisty was playing, but keeping the Jar Greeds. Using them basically as cantrips that double as like Heavy Storm and MST bait.
Mm-hmm.
And
which could be really big because a Sakaretsu resolve in or not could be the entire game for this kind of matchup.
Right. And let's see. For the monster lineups, I'm going to start with Antithesis or Rydia's because there's a lot to talk about here.
So one thing to note for this deck list is the Kinetic Soldier was actually not in the deck, and that is supposed to be a regenerating mummy.
Yes, I remember that too. From the qualifiers, right?
Change that needs to be swapped out on our website eventually. Anti submitted this deck first and then changed it before the tournament started, and I accidentally uploaded this version, but that's the only card difference.
Yes. So yeah, it's only slightly less weird. Instead of Kinetic Soldiers, just 3 regenerating mummies. And then we've also got.
I've been playing this deck over the last few days to play with Leovoid to try to help test. I have not seen any of the deck entrants for the top 8. We did allow players to change their deck for top 8 if they wanted to play. MMF has gotten all those lists. I have not seen any of them. So I've been testing with this build for Leovoid for the upcoming matchup, and man, this is a strange deck.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. In case the regenerating mummy, if that just seems too normal to y'all, we've also got Mataza the Zapper, a Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, and 3 copies of the Warrior Returning Alive.
So from my experience of using this so far, I'd say I probably played like 6 games with it. I don't see the purpose of the regenerating mummy at all. It has yet to get duoed on me. It's just been a weaker version of Skill Dark Magician. And that's been it for mummy. Swift Gaia is just sat dead in my hand. As long as I have another monster, you just can't play it. And then the Royal Oppression's like a good opponent is playing around that card easily. Meanwhile, you only have 1 Solemn Judgment to protect the card anyway once you do flip it up.
Yeah, the Royal Oppression, I forgot to mention those, but those also really stand out. Most Warrior players are thinking more about skill drain if they're going for like a Floodgate card in the main deck, especially. Rydia over here is playing not just 1 but 2 Royal Oppressions. And for those that aren't aware, this is not the Royal Oppression from 2008 or 2009. This Royal Oppression.
Flipping on the Dark Arm Dragon. This is
Yeah, you definitely need this card to be flipped face up already and to have resolved successfully before you're able to pay 800 to use that effect, to use the trigger like effect.
So 2 anti-Iridia's credit winner side for the tournament, correct?
Let me bring up the bracket real quick. Now Antithesis is in losers. About to play Leovoid.
Right, but did come in on winner side, so it had a good run with this deck. Like we've seen kind of similar deck before. I think Shane might have won or topped an FLC with like triple Mataza the Zapper, triple Compulse, and triple My Body at one point.
Yes, he did. He did top
with,
4.
Like, a ceasefire and some burn cards. So I mean, it's not unheard of for this combination of cards to do well.
Yeah, Mataza the Zapper does have. So the obvious thing is that it's just like a pretty fast clock on an open field, and we did see that in the matches from the qualifiers that we got to stream.
So
the other thing that goes under the radar.
A similar deck for the one round that already played in top 8.
Yes. From I think that video will get uploaded this weekend, so you all get to see that in more action. But yeah, that also did
happen. At the very least, was Warriors.
It was Warriors, and there was a Mataza the Zapper involved.
Okay.
Mataza the Zapper doing 2,600 a turn.
So this was probably the most surprising deck of all top 8 to see this one.
Yeah, I think by a long shot. Oh yeah, and then we haven't even talked about the side deck, which includes things like Gravekeeper's Watcher, Necro Valley, Sasuke Samurai #4, and 2 Dark Coffins.
Yeah, so like the Dark Coffins, I kind of just write off as I don't know when you put those in. Like if you already saw Jar of Greed, why would you put in Dark Coffins?
Yeah, I have the same thought with that as well.
Now the card in the side I have been cited in each time has been the Sakuretsu Armors and the Zinzang. That might be probably, I don't know, I might say at least of this half of the year, the hottest card that I've seen people start using.
Yeah, definitely. It's becoming really popular in aggro mirrors, like you got 13, 14 warriors or beat sick monsters, and a bunch of solemns and dust shoots and stuff.
A lot of damage is happening fast, so if you can just turn those 2 cards off for 2 or 3 turns, that could mean before the whole game could be over by the time they even get it off the board.
Right. I see a lot of people bringing in Mobius with them too.
Yep.
Lock down the back row and then destroy either those or other back rows with Mobius.
The cool thing is if you think your opponent's going to bring him in the mirror, having clip the trap remover to get him off the field is pretty useful too.
Yeah, Cliff the Trap Remover, definitely a rota target, definitely a warrior returning a live target, and definitely clearing out a lot of important cards.
The cool part about the Chiron in the side there is, like, from my experience with this deck so far, is my body can be dead a lot. So being able to bring that in could be useful as well. Warrior Return Live has actually been pretty live for me though.
Warrior Returning Live was very live in the qualifier matches and the top 8 match we've seen so far. Got activated a lot. I think we got everything worth mentioning about Rydia's list, so we can move over to Professor Hastig's.
This is a pretty interesting list too. Very low monster count. What are we on here?
13 with 2 rotas.
Right. So at 15, like, it's not the lowest number. Like 16 is kind of standard, and then you have 3 Jar Greeks to get into those monsters as well. So it might be a little deceiving of how many monsters are actually in this deck.
Yeah, it's like 15 out of kind of like 37 if you want to look at Jar Greeks like that.
You're going to see them.
Yeah, and so where do we start with the monster lineup? He's
very
playing
tight space for this BLS though.
Like, yeah,
the bare minimum 4 and 4.
Yeah, okay. I was about to count them up myself. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 4 and 4, and really more like 3.5 and 4, depending on how you look at DD Warrior Lady. Because if that card's doing her job, she doesn't.
The fact that Rhoda can get you the light or the dark that you need, I guess, has made it work out.
Yes, he is. He's playing Donsalud probably for exactly that reason.
So triple Solemn and triple Jar of Greed, I feel like just almost invalidates your opponent's Heavy Storm, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really powerful. With Jar of Greed, for those that don't notice, when you're playing a deck with like a lot of traps, you can set like a Jar of Greed and like maybe like one real one, and bait out Heavy Storm and like other kind of removal like that, like Mobius, same thing if it's in the post side games. And then once the big removal card is gone, you can just you've changed your Jar of Greed. They've broken even at best, and then you just set everything and they lose. Really good card.
Since there's only 15 actual monsters in the deck, it's very easy to get Blade Knight up to 2,000 by being able. You can just set all your cards in this deck because you're either going to be setting Bluff Jar of Greed that you're not afraid of Heavy Storm, or you could have Solemn Judgment to protect you from the Heavy Storm, letting your Blade Knight get powered up with triple Sakuretsu to protect you from Tsukiyomi.
Yes.
So pretty solid strategy here.
And then his side deck, he's also doing some interesting stuff. He's got kind of like that mid-range engine I was talking about from Geisty's list. Taking up a good half of his side deck. He's got two Faith, 2 Merchants, Chaos Sorcerer, a Tsukiyomi, and 2 Dekoichis.
Right.
Lots
So
of flip
what's cool
effects.
with that is you're going to assume when you're playing this deck, your opponent's going to side out their noblemans, since you're not setting anything, and then able to bring in the flip engine.
Yes. They side out noblemans, you get them got with the flip effects. And in this case, he's also playing another Chaos Sorcerer because all the stuff he adds with this engine happen to be light or dark. And Chaos Sorcerer, pretty effective metagame call right now. I mean, as we've already seen, we've got like 4 out of 8 top 8 Sorcerer control decks, basically.
And then I'm guessing the widespreads and the dust tornadoes are for the aggro matchup.
Yeah, almost certainly for the aggro mirrors. He is really trying to play a lot of Sakuretsu armor effects.
Which Jar Greed is also the easiest card to side deck out in the world, so it makes it very nice, easy transition to pop those out and
to all this stuff. So I think we talked about all the decks. Yes, we did. That's 8 out of 8.
Okay, rabbits.
We can go over that. Another Chaos control deck. This one playing Shining Angels.
Is this almost exactly ACP's deck?
I think it is exactly ACP's deck right now.
ACP plays 2 Chaos Sorcerer? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he definitely plays Call the Haunted. So yeah, I think this is a straight ACP net deck. Perhaps unintentionally. But anyone who was around in 2017 knows how this deck works and how it's good. And Rabbit just showing us, still good, still got it, still working.
Now I don't believe Rabbit played this against Leo Void in the top 8. I think he changed it up, but that game was also kind of a wash too, so I'm not even positive.
Oh, I can figure that out. 1 sec.
I'm pretty sure that Leo Void just really ran away with that match.
Yes. Okay. So Rabbit's deck was considerably more interesting in the top 8. I think who did he play again? Leo Void.
Yes.
Yeah. Leo Void ran away with that, but Rabbit was playing a lot of interesting tech, like 1 Gravekeeper's Guard with no spy, 1 Zaborg the Thunder Monarch, and also moved an Azura Priest into his main deck, and began to main deck Dust Tornadoes. So yeah, just sort of recap. We can get into the bracket now to kind of show y'all how all that went down. So both of our winners semis matches are played now. Diana beat Lucas in 3 games, and Professor Hastig beat Antithesis also in 3 games. We haven't gotten them to play winners finals yet. That'll be next. Possibly the matchup that'll decide how the tournament ends up.
Yeah, let's hop over to Deanna's deck so we could just talk about going forward what people are going to need to do to play against this deck.
Yes. So yeah, I've got it up on the screen again.
So this deck, I don't think anyone piloted it quite as well as Deanna did, or had the side as well made as Deanna did. But so I think that's why she was able to stay winner side for so long here. The cards that I've been thinking about that have the actual can beat this deck without no matter what your opponent sides for, to me is Curse Seal, Solemn Judgment, and Prohibition.
Yes, agreed on all 3 counts. And then there's more, but those are like the core 3.
Giant Tunade is your biggest problem. You have Giant Tunade. This deck is not likely going to beat you without a giant true nade, correct?
Yes. And just to explain that, the deck's core engine is Archfiend's Oath and Convulsion of Nature. If you have both of those face up, you pay 500 with Archfiend's Oath and basically just draw a card. And the deck uses Giant True Nade over and over again to do that over and over again, while getting more library counters.
Yeah, magical library.
Precisely. So if you stop Giant True Nade, if you just somehow guarantee that they cannot activate it, your life becomes much easier, way easier for them to end up bricking.
Right. So the reason that if you look at Deanna's side deck, it's pretty prepared for people who have tried Ojama Trio against this deck because you put out the tokens, and now you cannot activate Reversal Quiz because you can't send the tokens to the graveyard.
Right, it's a cost.
Right, so Deanna's added Mash Driver to the side deck as a way to deal with that. Essentially, the deck can get to any card in the deck, you have to assume. So if it has an out to it, you're in trouble. People have tried using monster cards to stop special summoning, but Swords of Concealing Light put all those monsters face down, and that's the end of that strategy. So with Curse Seal, by negating just one giant True Nade, your opponent will never be able to activate another one the rest of the game. So
right, and they would need like their single copy of Heavy Storm to be able to clear your Curse Seal before you would be before you'd be able to use it on True Nade.
So with a combination of Curse Seal and Prohibition, either one of the two with a Solemn Judgment, you almost have the game completely locked out with the 3 cards if you get any combination of the 2 of them.
Yes. So we named Curse Seal, Prohibition. What was the third card? Solemn Judgment.
Solemn Judgment to go with them.
Yeah, definitely.
So that way you have the answer for either Heavy Storm or a Mystical Space Typhoon. And just Solemn Judgment right now is probably the most versatile side deck card you'll ever get.
Yeah, side deck if not main decked.
Right, like it's an answer for your opponent's Solemn Judgments if they're main them in the aggro deck. It's an answer for stopping a combo card. Like,
yeah, it does everything, just like the card text suggests.
The other card that's also really good against this deck is Spell Canceller, but your ability to summon a Spell Canceller in one turn is going to be a lot harder than just setting these trap cards.
Yes, Spell Canceller was the next thing I was going to talk about. Also, incidentally, Spell Canceller is getting reprinted in a few weeks. I meant to talk about that a little earlier, but that's definitely helpful to people who play in real life. The card's been reprinted exactly once in 2005, and up until now has been like a pretty steady, like $20 to $30 card.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so those of you who are on a budget with your paper decks are going to get a boon on October 11th, I believe, in the Dual Devastator set.
So, but the issue still being against this deck is, which we did see happen in tournament, is losing the die roll. Yeah,
losing the die roll. Although there's like a couple caveats there. If you lose the die roll, but your opponent's playing kind of like a slow deck without like a bunch of Solemns or Dust Tornadoes or things that would interact with it, if you as the library player lose that dice roll, you can still kind of, I mean, it's kind of like you still end up going first, because like what is like a standard go control list going to do to you on turn 1?
Right.
But if you lose the dice roll versus like aggro and they get to set Dust Shoot Solemn, Summon King Tiger Wang who pass, then
so
yeah,
do
your
you
life's
see
pretty
this
miserable.
deck as a deck that could ruin GOAT format as it gains more popularity?
So I have a bit of a...
Right now I say no, but I'm willing to be convinced that it could.
I have a bit of a nuanced view here. I think whether or not a deck quote-unquote ruins the format depends way less on like how good it is, like in a vacuum, or like, you know, in the context of the format, the metagame, the quote-unquote balance, than people tend to think. If a deck like this, I say a deck like this, it could be library, it could be something else like library. We've seen a lot of decks like this come and go over the years. if it's ever going to actually like ruin or threaten to ruin the community, it's going to be more because people just don't enjoy playing against it. Don't want to enter a tournament where they see it's going to be
the format into Frog FTK.
Right, and on that count, in the sense that like, is this going to be the best deck? It's almost certainly not. The FTK rate is probably like 50% at best in game one. Not near good enough.
Winner side of this tournament, but we saw a lot of copies of this deck go down throughout the 5 tournaments leading up to this.
Yeah, including Diana's own list. Especially her side deck, she had to keep updating that as the tournament, as each qualifier passed. She finally squeaked in on, I believe, the 4th one. I can't remember.
It was either the 4th. No, I believe it was the 5th.
Yes, you may be right. It may have been the 5th, actually.
Right. So if we didn't, so a caveat to this, there even being a 5th, and the 3rd, and especially the 4th tournament. No, the 2nd and the 3rd tournament, a player main decking Spell Canceller destroyed at least 4 of these decks between this and Jar FTK.
This and Jar FTK and Maskus deck.
Entering for qualifying twice, but someone had figured out of this metagame is a lot of these spell decks and was able to shut it down.
Yeah, so to go back to Spell Canceller for just a little bit, I think Spell Canceller is going to be roughly as important as the other cards we mentioned as like an answer to this, with the stipulation that it doesn't just go straight up in every deck. Aggro decks that have the ability to get to a second turn where they'd be able to summon Spell Canceller, those are the ones where it's going to be really good. If you are playing Control, a Control variant, Spell Canceller may very well be a good side deck card for other reasons, but it's probably not going to be in itself enough to be library in your particular matchup.
Right. But I mean, Spell Canceller at the same time is a semi-versatile card. Like, you can put it in even against a Chaos deck and shut them down for quite a few turns.
Yeah. Let's. I mean, like against Reasoning Gate decks, for example, you may just straight up win.
Right.
Obviously, they do have outs, quite a few, but they also have a lot of not outs.
Being the biggest one.
And then Empty Jar again has outs, but is also a deck with like 30 spells. So
in the 5th qualifier, we did see one player, Tango. He lost round 1, and then he proceeded to win, I think, the next 5 rounds with 2 Spell Cancellers main decked instead of Air Knights, and a pretty much Control style deck. Yes. And the reason that worked was because the meta started switching after the 4th tournament to a lot of these FTK spell heavy decks, and he got paired up with a few of them, and that's all it took, was just one normal summon.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We talked about where Diana is in the tournament right now. Diana's in Winners Finals, playing what will probably be one of her harder matchups in Professor Hastig. That leaves... Okay, so Antithesis and Leo Void have not played Losers Quarters yet, but they will.
They should be playing tomorrow night, I believe.
Tomorrow night, and we will have that on stream, ready for y'all to go. The other side of Losers Bracket has been played. Lucas and Loop. Loop squeaked in at Losers side with the only copy of like pure standard Go Control, and has now won two of those matches in a row. First against Nash Bridges in a Control Mirror, and then another against Lucas, another Control Mirror. Both of those cats on like a Thunder Dragon Chaos with Scapegoats and Metas. So Loop is waiting for the winner of Antithesis and Leo Void in Losers Semis, and that will be when the loser side of what's really like top 4.
Another thing I wanted to briefly discuss about this tournament is we're seeing like a whole new breed of players. Like, you don't have any there's no ACP in this tournament. There's no Jazz in this tournament. There is no Chris Brovic in this tournament. I think the most veteran players we probably had were like Tango and Del Bolito maybe entered one tournament. So,
yes, and unfortunately Dale couldn't finish it out. Probably would have
right.
made it in if he could.
So we're looking at like a lot of less standard decks people are playing. A lot more of I guess I'd call them 2019 like new breed decks. I'd say filled up like half of this tournament of like these different versions of aggro decks and these FTK decks, compared to more of the older school players that are still sticking closer to a go control deck with some chaos just splashed in.
Right. Yeah.
So it is kind of a different era that we're coming into here.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing just like the perfect statement of that in this top 8 bracket. And just to recap, so in winners finals, that's Warriors versus Library FTK, and then one GOAT control list waiting to play the winner of Warriors and Thunder Dragon Chaos. So definitely not the top 4 I would have predicted in terms of decks or players. And a lot of these cats joined for the qualifier that they made it in, and like that was like their first tournament as far as we know.
Even from our GOAT format server, very few players that were predicted to go far, like Swisky or Massis or Noel even. None of them qualifying.
Yeah, they did get all of them did get far, but all of them fell just a little bit short when it counted.
Rabbit is probably like one of the only, even from like the format library side of players.
Yeah, and Nostalgic Duelist as well. He's been around
Lucas,
for a while.
Maybe.
Lucas comes from the top of our GoFormat.com ranked ladder at the very least.
Right.
And then but then Nash Bridges and Professor Hastig, I'm almost certain those guys were entirely new. Like joined the day of.
So, definitely look out for the finals results for this year Shonen Jump Championship Freeroll. The winner of this tournament is still getting a Dark Grand Dragon.
Yes. And again, other losers quarters match going to be probably tomorrow night. And throughout the month, we'll be running the rest of the bracket out.
Yep, we'll be uploading more coverage. And once this tournament finishes up, we will announce our next tournament.
Yes, the next tournament, more plans, all that good jazz. No pun intended.
All right, well, it was a good talk to MMF, and we'll see you guys when probably Sunday.
Yes, we will. All right, peace out, y'all.